Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Before we start the video, I just wanted to say huge thanks to everyone who's stopping by, watching the videos, supporting them, subscribing, commenting, uh, posting what they wanted, like commenting what they want to see me do and all that kind of stuff. And upon request, today's video, actually, as we get into it now, is a bit of a video on like my pointers and like the five. Well, not like I don't really want to like have a certain like number. Like I don't want to be like, all right, one you have to do this, two you have like this is just like a few pointers in no particular order of what I would say to any person who's struggling at the game a little bit. I will make a more in-depth like tip video later during the week, but I just wanted to smash this out now and just give a few pointers. So the first thing I wanted to get into is obviously with Apex Legends you have access to, at the moment currently there are 9 legends, more to come obviously, but when I first started there was only 8. So there was no Octane. Octane is the newest addition obviously, but Octane, Caustic, and Mirage are you have to buy them. We have to buy them with the legend currency up here, which is the middle one, the legend tokens. You get that from leveling up. Each level you get 600, I believe. So that can so after like you get like level 20, I think it is, you can already buy a character. Now you can I've got a video on each of these characters, so you can see kind of like a play style on them. But each like my first tip, I guess, or my first thing is definitely I would try every legend out that you have access to. You have access to every single one except for Caustic, Mirage, and Octane. So obviously, as you can tell from the little symbols in the top right, it tells you what kind of class they are. So the little bullet symbol is offensive, the little shield symbol is defensive, and the little plus is a sort of support, and the little like radar beacon thingy is tracker. Now Bloodhound is the only tracker in the game. He is really good in a lot of comps. He is a really good character, but my first thing is just try every legend out that you can, and always look up on YouTube like gameplay of each character like that you have to buy, because with legends, like obviously you guys have seen I play with Cryo a lot, a good mate of mine. He likes Caustic. He plays Caustic all the time. He doesn't play Caustic because of his hitbox. He plays Caustic because he likes the character in general. Now, obviously, if you're gonna sweat your ass off, you need to worry about hitboxes, because a Gibraltar or a Caustic or even Pathfinder's got a little bit of a bigger hitbox than a Wraith, because Wraith is skinny as fuck. But so it's really up to you. It depends on your playstyle. Each character suits a certain playstyle, and it's all up to you to choose that. So that's my first tip. Try out every freaking legend in thing. Give them a go. Don't just have like one game and be like, all right, that's not a character for me. Give them a go. Look at some videos on YouTube of how people play them, certain strategies, like, Bloodhound and Bangalore and Caustic always go really well, because Bloodhound ult, he can see through smoke and gas no matter what. So there's certain like strategies and stuff you can do that can really help out. Excuse me. Next big thing that I wanted to touch on is, so obviously, so if we go into, I'm going to go into training quickly, and I will come back once we get there, so give me a sec. So welcome back. I just, yeah, we're not going that way. So obviously I've just jumped into training quickly, so this is like you have to do training in order to play Apex at the start of the game. In order to play by yourself, you need, like, I don't know if they changed it, but when I first started playing Apex, in order to play solo, you had to actually complete training first. Now, training at first glance doesn't seem very good to a lot of people. Like, I skipped over it until now, like until probably about 2-3 weeks ago, until one of my friends told me like, yo, training's really good, and then I hopped in, took a look at it, and was very surprised. So what happened was, obviously you spawn like somewhere up there. You have to talk to Bloodhound. Once you get down here, there's 2 supply bins. You follow all the prompts, and then once he tells you to talk to Pathfinder, you're free to sit here. So what you can do in this time is, this links into the next thing. So weapons of choice in this game are very, very important. Now, there's certain weapons that outrank others. Now, I don't know if that's just their gameplay design. Like, for example, obviously, if you've seen the challenge video that I did, a P2020 and a Mozambique isn't going to get you very far. They're kind of like the starter weapons that you get. They're not very strong. They're, you know, they're pretty bad. Like, at, certain ranges, they do about, like, if you hit every single hit of the Mozambique, you do 45 damage. Now, one single shot, on the other hand, is nothing. Like, especially if you're firing, like, if I were to fire this at a range, like a far range, 15 damage, there you go. Per one pellet, it shoots 3 pellets, only has 3 in a mag, so it's not very good. Now, your weapon of choice is very important. So, obviously they tell you this in training anyway, but you can sit here and try out every single weapon that's currently available in the game. So there's certain guns that you can just pick up ammo, have a crack at them, shoot them, get used to recoil, get used to all this other stuff, and just find a gun you're comfortable with. If you're bad with snipers like the G7 or the longbow, they've got moving targets here that you can shoot at range. I don't claim to be the best player, as I said in the start, but this is really helpful, especially if you're shooting at longer ranges. This can really help you predict, like, bullet drop. It can help you see certain things. You can always go all the way up there and shoot at the targets from really far away, like up the target, like all the way over there, and see how they go. So it's all organized. You've got the heavies in one spot, you got the energies, you got the lights, you got the shotguns, and obviously you've got the care package weapons all the way on the far right over here, which the only care package weapons in the game are the Mastiff and the Kraber, which, on a side note, the Mastiff does a shit ton of damage in the head. It can one-shot anyone. But that's like the next thing. So I'd definitely like come in here. Now the only thing definitely you can't do in here is you can't use attachments, which can be a bit of a downside kind of thing, because obviously if we were to go for an R99, the R99 personally is one of my favorite guns in the game. I even bought this skin for it after with crafting materials. It only has 18 in a mag. With a heavy extended mag, it has 30 with a purple one. So having 18 bullets compared to 30 bullets is a big difference. Like, this thing runs out of ammo very quickly if you don't have an extended mag. But the biggest issue with not having attachments is scopes. Now, obviously each weapon can use certain scopes. Care package weapons can't use any form of attachments in general. But there's scopes varying from the one times classic circle and the HCOG to 2 to 4 times, 1 to 2 times, 4 to 8 times, like 4 to 10 sniper thermals, 6 times snipers. You get the idea. So now I prefer like, even on, like, well, not really like the longbow and the G7. I prefer longbow G7. I normally prefer to run, well, actually longbow is 2 to 4 times. I think it provides a good long range to mid range kind of engagement. G7 I like to run 1 to 2 and sometimes even just a regular 1-time scope, because I feel like it's more of a mid-range gun, then you're not going to be sniping at someone from across the map. Now you do you, honestly, like for Spitfires and stuff, like for, where is the Spitfire? For the Spitfire, I normally run the 2 times HCOG, which is a bit of a better zoom. Like, as I said, you do you, honestly, like, you just come in here, mess around with what you have to, and get out in the actual arena and pick up some scopes and use it. Like, as I said, I use 1-time scopes on most of my weapons because I prefer it, but one of my friends, Mikey, I'm fucking calling you out, he uses like a 2 to 4 times scope. I don't know how he uses it, but he does. It baffles me. There's a couple videos of me actually, like, there was one video I remember I went, it was our fastest video record. He actually won the game by using it, and then I questioned him after it, like, saying, what the hell are you doing with that scope on that gun? And he said he liked it, so it's all personal preference, I guess. On to the next one. So let me drop all this. So the biggest thing in Apex, honestly, is like communication with your teammates. Now, obviously, if you are running on if you're in a party chat on PS4 or Xbox One, or if you're in a Discord chat on PC, or even just in general game chat, that's going to help you significantly more than just, you know, sitting there pinging weapons and pinging stuff. Now, that doesn't go to say that the pinging system in this game is very, very, very well done. Like, Fortnite even went ahead and added their own ping system because they saw how well they did it. So the ping system in this game, if you just tap your ping button, you obviously ping just regularly. Like, you can ping where you want to go, all that kind of stuff. But even I started just doing that, and I didn't actually start to use the more elaborate pinging system later on, like the more advanced one. So obviously it's basic, you know, you ping weapons, you ping ammo you're not using for your teammates that can really help them out. But the biggest thing that I found is the ping menu. Now, not that, the ping menu. So this ping menu is, so you just hold your ping button and you pop up your ping menu. Now this is really, really important. So there's some where, like, defending this area I don't use much, but for example, attacking here, looting this area, like, enemy spotted, you can just double tap, so it doesn't really matter. You don't need to really worry about that. But for example, like, someone's been here. So your character says a unique, obviously, voice line to signal to your teammates, yo, someone's over there, or someone has been there recently. The loot area, you can always ping that, obviously, to a building. So let's say, you know, you wanted to loot that tower over there, you know, you can just be like, yo, I'm gonna go loot that tower, and then you run up it, and then your teammates actually know that you're up there, or they know where you are. Also, attacking is very important. I started using that recently. It can really help out to tell, you know, you're like, there's some enemies over there, I hear some gunfire, you know, yo, let's attack, let's go. You know, I'm gonna attack, get the jump on them or something. And obviously, if you're talking in a party or a chat or something, it's gonna be a lot more easy to communicate that. But that's, like, it's a very small tool. It's very easy to use, but very, very effective. Like, it's surprisingly really amazing. Now, that also ties in with my next point, which my next point is, as I said, these are in no particular order. This is just just my take on, like, what you should do if you're starting this game, or if you're struggling a bit in the early game. If you're like a sweaty player who's already max level, and you're just watching this and you're like, what kind of idiot doesn't know these tips? I understand. Like, these are also things I know as well. But obviously, not everyone sweats a game. Not everyone, you know, everyone just likes to have some fun. So just pointing out to some things to someone can really help out. So obviously, you see the big map here. Now, obviously, when you press your map button, you can see, you can zoom in, whatever. You can also set waypoints on it, which will correspond to the actual area. Now, the biggest thing about the map is team location. Now, obviously, like, for example, I'll use Pathfinder as a example here. I know Pathfinder's over there, right? So, on the map, if I was in an actual game, there would be a little icon over my teammate being Pathfinder. There'd be a little marker, so I know that Pathfinder's over there. So, in saying that, it's really good to know where your teammate is. Like, always stick together as a group. Even if you're just solo playing with randoms, I know a lot of people like to jump by themselves, and, you know, they can't be asked with, like, you know, that one brain dead teammate that you might get. I'm sorry if, you know, I'm not talking about someone who's bad. I'm talking about more like someone who literally doesn't even know how to use a controller and just starts running into walls and stuff like that. You know, I've had a teammate like that once, I think, before, where he really didn't know what was going on. Like, it wasn't a problem or anything, but it can get really annoying when you get game after game after game of, you know, just a teammate that can't really pull their weight, or is, like, lagging behind. I use lagging really openly, but that's just, as in, like, not physically lagging, as in from internet connection, but lagging as in due to just him not paying attention. The biggest thing, in my opinion, is always pay attention to where your teammates are. Like, constantly. Every single time, pay attention to where your teammates are. Pay attention to, you know, what they're doing. Always, when your teammate starts using the ping wheel, like, and they start pinging, you know, like, enemy over there, or, you know, someone's been there, make sure you're aware of that. Make sure you're hearing that. Make sure you're always with your team, because you need to be able to, like, for example, if you're in bunker, right, and your team's in this little, like, this housing settlement thingy here, right, you need to be able to be like, if your two teammates here get into an engagement and it's a 2v3 situation, you need to be able to say, like, yo, can I get there in time? Like, can I help them? Or are they going to go down to a 2v3 engagement, and then I'm going to have to 1v3, and most of the time, I'm probably not going to clutch it, right? So, make sure you're aware of that. You need to really make sure you're definitely aware of your teammate's location. Now, obviously, there's, like, you always want to, like, as you know, on this topic of teammate, you always want to ping better armor. You always want to tell your teammates, you know, you always want to tell your teammates where better armor is, where better helmets are, knockdown shields, backpacks, all that kind of stuff. You want to use the ping system to help them with that. You also want to use the ping system, or even the chat system in general, to say, you know, yo, I'm flanking, or yo, I'm going to go around them, or, you know, I think I saw a bloodhound running off to the right. I think he's going to come from our right side, you know. Just the communication like that is really important in this game. Can really, really help out. And the last thing I really have to say is, like, decision-making skills. So, decision-making is a big thing in any game. So this is not just Apex, this is just a tip for gaming in general. Now, you need to be able to decide whether this engagement you're currently in is a good one or a bad one, or is, like, neither. It could be just a good one, and it could be just a neutral one, where, you know, you're just chilling, and you're like, you know, like, it's just a decision where you're like, oh, do I want the R99 or do I want the R301? That's still decision-making, right? But the decision-making I'm talking about is more like, you know, you're in the middle of a fight, you're shooting some enemies, and then you're getting shot, you're getting lit up, right? And you can see, like, in the bottom left of your screen, obviously your teammates are there. You can see that you guys don't have much health, right? And you need to heal up. So you need to make the decision to be like, to your teammates, man, like, we need to get out. Like, we need to, like, regroup quickly. We need to heal up to re-engage, you know? So you also need a decision make of, like, you know, whether if you see two teams fighting, whether you third party and you jump in, which most of the time that is a good idea to jump in and third party. But you need to know, like, yeah, let's go bloody third party these guys and just destroy them, kind of thing, and then pick up a few kills. So it all is about that. In saying that, don't, like, one thing is, don't let the little greedy loot goblin inside all of us, I know it's there, don't let that, like, take a hold of you. You always want to heal up. For example, if you're in an engagement, this goes back to third partying as well. If you're in an engagement and you're fighting and you've just knocked down a whole team, don't run straight for, like, more attachments and stuff. In most cases you can, but if you're really low on health, it's really good to, you know, pop a Phoenix kit, or at least pop a full shield, like a full shield battery, before actually looting, because if you're the subject to a third party, then that can be really annoying. Like, if you get third party, it can really be a pain in the ass for your team in general. Because if you get third party, that can result in your whole team getting wiped. So I've had some games where I've been recording and I've had, like, a really good game, and then I've just been, like, just destroyed because I've had team after team after team after team after team just come. You know, they just don't stop. So even, like, in that kind of situation, this tip won't help you, or what I'm saying now won't really help you if you can't even get, like, that golden body armor that you downed on that guy, even though you have blue, because the minute you heal up, you're already in another engagement, kind of thing. Definitely, though, there's certain, like, legends can really help with that, so this ties into, like, the first point I made in this video, where legends can really, like, certain legends can really help on escaping or decision-making. For example, like, in my opinion, obviously, you know, someone might comment saying, you know, this point is completely stupid, I'm an idiot, but in my opinion, now everything I'm saying in this video is in my personal opinion. In my opinion, Wraith's Portal is a very, well, every ability in this game is situational, but Wraith's Portal is really crappy in most cases because I use it for movement speed more than I use it for anything else. In some occasion, it has helped out, like, my team's dying, and I can portal out, and, you know, it helps us disengage, and then we can just portal back in. But sometimes that can really be annoying because, like, they're waiting at the other end on the portal, and that can be really frustrating. Now, on another scenario, Bangalore's smoke is really good for running, like for escaping. Caustic can hold off an area, because Caustic is by far the best zone controlling character in this game. Because just he has traps, he has his ult, like Bangalore and Gibraltar are really good at zone controlling as well, but I think Caustic, because of the sheer amount of traps he can shoot them off, and he can really block off areas, and he can also, I don't know if this is a bug, I don't know if it's a thing, but if you didn't know, you can actually use Caustic to close bunker. You can actually, so bunker on the map, it has a door, big door here and a big door right there. You can actually use Caustic to block that off. Now, a lot of people don't know that. If you want to, like a video explaining on how to do that, like it will only be a short, like 5-minute video or something, but I can show you how to do that. It's not very hard. Obviously, you've probably seen or heard Cryo in my vids do it a few times. I've even told him, yo, like just block off bunker on that side, and it's really, really like something that's very interesting kind of thing. Definitely in saying that, that's, I think, really it, to be honest. That's like my five things. Like, I feel like it's not really like Apex for dummies, but it's like Apex for newbies. Nah, it's Apex for like this is just a few tips for like someone who's really starting out. This isn't for like a veteran player or someone who's playing the game max level who's very experienced at it, because most of the time people would already know that kind of stuff. But to utilize the training field here, don't forget to utilize the training. Sorry, I had to do a little bit of a cut there. I got a phone call quickly. Whatchamacallit? Yeah, don't forget to come into training. Now obviously I got confused when I came in, but you just you meet Bloodhound at the top. You do what he has to. You come down here. You do the supply bins. Once you do the supply bins, all the guns will open up here. Also on that fact, I forgot to mention as well, don't forget to go to your settings. Now this is obviously for every game. Edit your sensitivity. Play around with this. Now I use 4. This is just, I don't know what default is. I can't remember. I don't want to restore to default because I've added a lot of other settings as well. But I use 4. That's what I use. Play around with this as well, and play around with your look dead zone, your responsive curve, all that kind of stuff. You can always Google what each of these do. That's what I did. So make sure you just utilize that, and that can help you with aiming in the future for every game. That's like something for every game. If you're playing a shooter, you're saying you're playing Rainbow Six Siege, you're playing Fortnite, you're playing Apex, you're playing Call of Duty, anything like that, you want to always edit your sensitivity till you're happy with how your accuracy feels, kind of thing. And also, don't forget to like figure out what gun is, like, as in what type of gun, like what type of shot type the gun uses. So what I mean by shot type is it projectile or hit scan? So obviously for people, if they don't know the difference, projectile, when you fire it, you can actually see the bullet going. So it takes a while. So if I over here and I shoot that target, see how I'm not actually hitting it? But if I hit it, do you see how it takes a little bit of time to actually hit the target? It's not instant. Now the reason for that is because the Wingman, for example, is a projectile weapon. Most guns, I think, in this game are. For example, the longbow is. So at long ranges, you have to actually substitute, and you have to factor in a few things. So if you were to grab a longbow, why do I have this ugly skin on? Anyway, if you were to use a longbow, the longbow is a bit different, and it's harder with a scope to see. But because the longbow is more of a long-range gun, it's a very easy. But even then, you see how there's a delay before it hits. So if you're hitting a moving target, if I were to shoot that there, see how it hits. But if it was a player sprinting, I might not be able to hit them at that range, for example. Which a lot of the time it's like that, where they're sprinting fast, and you can't actually, you miss to the left or the right. You just can't hit them, for example. So you definitely have to learn that. Hit scans, obviously, the hit scan is the minute you shoot. If your crosshair, if that little dot is on the target, it instantly hits. So that you have to definitely take into account. So that's it for today's video, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. This was a bit of a different video to make. I enjoy making it. I enjoy making content that entertains everyone. Anyone who watches this, if you're not subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you did. This is like, well, I think it's a dream for everyone to become a YouTuber, but I definitely am trying to put as much effort as I can into these videos, and I do want to make these as enjoyable and as entertaining for everyone as I can. Most of the gameplays where I play with Cryo, they're very serious gameplays. Hopefully in the future we can do some like wacky fun shit. So obviously, but the thing is, when you fight like other people in Apex, they're they're not here to have fun. Just to do a challenge or something takes a bit of time. So in saying that, yeah, I would really appreciate if everyone, I really appreciate everyone who's subscribed already, everyone who watches the videos, who views it, who sees it, who whatever. If you knew everything in this video, well, all the power to you. I'm happy that you knew this, but this is just for, players who are starting out. I will make probably a more in-depth tip video. Cryo mentioned to me that he thought it would be a good idea to make a bit of a tip video on every legend, because there's certain things on certain legends that a lot of people like, kind of hidden mechanics that they don't actually tell you what they do. But that's for future. I'm rambling now. Anyway, I appreciate. So thank you everyone for watching. If you did enjoy, and if you do enjoy this content, if you do enjoy Apex, I would appreciate it if you were to just subscribe, and just watch the videos. It means really the world to me. I appreciate everyone who's subscribed, all 35 people who have subscribed so far. It's actually insanely amazing to me. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and I will talk to everyone. Well, I'll see you guys in the next Apex video or whatever type video it is. On a side note, actually, before I go, and I just died. Before I go, tomorrow's video will be the RE45 challenge. So if you're looking forward to that, subscribe. That'll be tomorrow. Stay tuned, and the rest of the 17 episodes will come out later. But thank you everyone, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.